What's the deal, y'all? Welcome back to the Nice and Neat Halftime Show. I'm your host, Omar, and I just want to say again, Happy Thanksgiving. Yo, if you guys are watching and listening, go ahead and drop it in the comments what you're grateful for right now. We want to look, check it out, and just share those experiences with you. Usually we get into one of my favorite games, Them the Rules, but we got something a little more serious that we want to talk about today. And I'm gonna kick it to Duke. And we're gonna go ahead and dive on in.
Yeah, man. So I think because O and I are former professional athletes and Jalon has a history of working with professional athletes, I just felt like it was our duty to kind of use our platform to touch on something that was serious, right? So over the last couple of weeks, there's been incidents, of NFL players getting in trouble or former NFL players getting in trouble or doing things that were dangerous, right? So the Henry Ruggs situation, the DUI, the speeding on the freeway, you guys know that he murdered or he crashed somebody and killed somebody, right? And a dog, right? And then there's recently came out with Stacy. I forget what team he played for, but he was caught on tape physically abusing his girlfriend with the child in the house, right? And I think about these situations, and I think about just the track record and the repetitiveness, that these situations occur with, right? And fellas, man, if you're watching this, dog, I really want to stress decision making. Decision making and how to make better decisions, because we don't have enough urgency making certain decisions, and it can ruin our life. You know what I'm saying? And it's not something that people can just say it's a one-time incident, right? This is a track record. This is a repeating thing that guys are getting in trouble. And it seems like, I don't know about y'all, but it seems like every other month it's something.
Yeah.
Right? And some guys getting in trouble off of decision making. And I feel like we got to do a better job as men, as former athletes. I just feel like it's our duty to help in some way.
So, speaking specifically to the Zach Stacy incident, I know he's a former. I think the Rams drafted him, and then he played for the Jets as well. But that was in like 2010, 2000, like within 2012, 2013, somewhere early then, right? Which means he would have had at least like 15 years of playing football under his belt. Not professional football, but football in total.
Right.
And I know a lot of people will be curious to ask, and, you guys are not doctors, but you guys also played the game as well. And I'll ask, do you think that has anything to do with, CTE? Is that something that may have affected him to act like that? Here's a running back, so it's a high collision position already within the game. Or do you just think this is just, he's just acting out?
Yeah, I mean, it could be one, I definitely don't think it's solely based off of CTE if CTE even is a factor in the situation. I think situations like these are not the first time that we hear about them. Or the first time when we hear about it, it's not
because there were cameras set up.
Yeah, it's not the first time that it's happened. It's something that I've done before. I've gotten away with it. I felt like I got a sense of power in that situation, and I love that control that it gave me. And that's what I'm trying to get. I'm searching for that feeling. And even if it is CTE, like, we will never know until the day that he passes. Yeah, it's impossible to. The only way that you could examine someone's brain for CTE is actually getting the brain, in hand. So, I mean, you can only do that when someone dies. So, I think it's unfair to say that for the victim, because it almost becomes a cop-out.
Yeah.
And it allows that person to not take accountability for their actions.
Right.
In that moment.
So I don't like saying that, but at the same time, though, the dude could be, messed up top.
Yeah.
I've seen. And I don't know if you guys have seen, but you could Google many situations of guys acting out of character. One thing that I could remember, which was crazy, was I think this dude's name was Brian Price. I think he went to UCLA. He's from LA. You guys know, familiar?
Yep.
Brian Price, D tackle, went to UCLA, played for the Bucks. This dude ran through a glass door at the gas station.
Yeah.
fell down, didn't even realize he ran through it, got up and acted like nothing happened. You know, so like there are situations where guys are struggling mentally, but I would hate to blame that on domestic abuse, you know, situations.
I think it's behavioral.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I saw somebody say something online, and there's a lot of talk of CTE, right? And someone says, well, how come these people never act like that towards men, towards other men, right? I'm trying to fight other men, right? It's always in proximity and closed doors to a woman. I think it's power, behavioral, right? So I don't think it's CTE, you know, and you said something that kind of made me think, whether it's domestic violence, whether it's drinking and driving. People have been doing this before. They just didn't get caught.
Just haven't got caught.
And they've been doing it and been able to do it because the people around them have been enabling them.
Yeah.
Right? So a lot of times we drink and drive because we haven't paid the price for it.
Yep.
Or our homies is saying, yo, I'll see you later, and not checking us for that. That's how accidents and serious things happen, you know? So there's domestic violence. If you notice it, and I'm talking to everybody that's listening to this right now, if you're a guy and you notice any kind of aggressive behavior, violent behavior from your homie to a woman, right? It's on you. You got to do your part. Not for her, for him.
Yeah. For us.
for
us.
Right?
All of us.
Yeah, yes, for her.
Sheesh.
But you have to understand as a homie to save your friend's life.
Yeah.
You know, Duke, you actually just made me think about something. It was sparked when Omar was talking, but you said power, right? One thing, and you two can speak to this, one thing that I know about Zach, I'll just first name him, Zach, is that his career ended prior to him wanting it to end, right? So within that space of losing that type of control, one thing I've seen is a lot of guys that are, you know, they had maybe 2-3 really good years, and then it just kind of their career didn't go the way they planned, whether it's NBA, whether it's NFL, professional athletes, right? Somebody who's prepared their entire life to play on this stage, and then their career doesn't just pan out the way that it wanted to, and they're seeking that rush, they're seeking that power, they're seeking that control again, and I see it a lot of times in behavior that's very similar to what we just seen. My question will be to these respected leagues that these people play in. What are you doing to help transition people out of that space? When we're not using you anymore, what are you doing to help these athletes? Because, you know, for the NFL, you know, we use your body. We're done with your body. It's on to the next. But if you played X amount of years, they protect you financially, you know, and things like that. But I just don't really see the help for those guys in that transitional space.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm not making him a victim here when I'm saying that. I'm not making him a victim. But as far as like preventing these things from happening again, I feel like these are conversations that we need to have.
Yeah.
What is happening with those guys? Because I've seen your mental struggles. You just decided not to hit anybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, everybody goes through something, but it's like, what help did the NFL give you when you were going through that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't give me much help at all, if any. I mean, they make certain resources available to you, but they don't make it, they aren't proactive about like trying to pull you in and like really show you like, yo, the transition is going to be bumpy. It's going to be rough.
Yeah.
It's like that before. They Big Brother program people before, essentially. You 17, hey man, come over here.
I mean, you know what it is.
You in your senior year of college, come over here. Nah, man, this is how we do it. This is what it looks like over here.
Hey, you know, the NFL, not for long. You know, what have you done for me lately? Once,
Yeah.
you know, once we have no use for you, once you're not doing anything for us, you know.
Yeah, but like
the position changes.
You're right. These institutions should be doing a better job of making sure that it doesn't keep happening. Right? They can't be responsible for everyone, but they can try to do a better job making sure it can. But at the end of the day, it comes down to his anger management, decision making. When you know, I know I shouldn't be driving this fast drunk.
Yeah.
It's going 156 miles an hour.
I know, right? I know. That's not. Is he a bad person?
Nah, he made a poor decision.
It's a bad decision.
Yeah.
That's gonna ruin his life.
Yo, both of them are poor decisions, right?
Very poor decisions.
Poor decisions. The one with Zach is more.
That's a behavioral.
That's a behavioral thing, and learning
that's
another topic.
That's more of a character thing. Yeah.
Like learning how to like effectively communicate,
Yeah.
like articulate. You know what's going on. You know mentally,
Mm-hmm.
he don't know how to articulate himself, so he getting frustrated, so he gets physical.
Yeah.
You know, but the Henry Ruggs one, man, like
That's
to
tough.
me, it's just completely inexcusable.
Yeah.
You know, dude's making a lot of money, man.
Yeah.
And if you want to, I don't know what kind of car he was in. It was going by so fast in the screen, right? But like, the flyest cars in the world, you could choose any one. That you live in Vegas, right? You could have someone drive you in it. If you want to pull up in your whip, right?
If you want to pull up.
If you want to pull up in your whip, and that's even more player anyway, hopping out with somebody driving.
Yeah.
You know, so like, him making that decision is just so it's so disappointing, man. It's so disappointing because it could have been easily avoided. He could have had the same night that he had, you know, having a bunch of fun without, you know, killing somebody. So
Yeah, I know. We got halftime. We're trying to get through it, but I think it's so important though.
No,
right?
no.
I think it's important too, and I don't want to just take away from the fact that there is a victim here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We definitely feel for the victim.
Yeah.
Both victims, right, in both situations. You know, but the Zach Stacy situation, I just felt bad. I felt embarrassed to be like
hard to watch.
Football player.
it was hard to watch.
Right? Just because that's part of that's like part of the locker room. That's part of the fraternity, I guess, that
shield.
we were in, you know?
Yep.
So if it just kind of, it sucked watching that, you know?
Yeah.
And I think we're just much better than that, you know? And I feel like I don't want no women to paint this picture that like we're all like that, because we're not.
We're not.
You know, we didn't agree with that.
Yeah,
so.
not at all. I don't know what was worse about that situation, man. Him hitting her, throwing her against the TV,
Yeah.
or doing it all in front of his son. You know,
It was no place in there where he had any just do. It's not like she never hit him.
the way she was reacting, I knew he'd do this shit all the time.
He does it all the time.
I felt bad.
She didn't say anything.
Yeah.
She laid on the ground like, yo, the best thing for me to do is to be quiet. Because I've spoken up before and that shit didn't work.
Yeah.
No, it was
That's what it looked like.
embarrassing.
It was
bad.
embarrassing.
And then to speak on Henry Ruggs before we close out halftime, it was a super unfortunate situation for everybody involved, and I'm very thankful that not more people got hurt.
Right.
156 miles an hour. He impacted at, I think it was 127. 127? I've hit something at 40 miles an hour. It was like, oh, it's over for that car.
Yeah.
It was in the street, right?
It's in the street.
It
It's in the street. It was in the street, man. And the car was in flames, and his girlfriend was in the car with him, or a girl he was with was in the car with him. And I'm thankful that she was still alive. You know,
Right.
he was still alive. You know, it's unfortunate for the victims and their families, and not only their families, but like his family, because coming from our communities, when you make it, we make it.
Right.
And you just took a whole like you might have set back an entire generation of your family by that decision.
One decision.
So like Duke said, it comes down to decision making.
Yeah.
Very, very unfortunate. All right, guys, I know that was a little different kind of halftime, but it's something that we needed to talk about, something that was very important and we had to address. But with that said, man, we're going to conclude this week's halftime show the only way we know how. That's with some positive energy, some positive vibrations, and a smile, of course, man. Let's get back into the second half. Let's go.